Why haven't you learned anything?
Yeah, I mean that album was basically a summary of our political views at the time, our our frustrations, and our hopes for a better world. And we wanted to bring the hardest album we could into the hip hop space, and use this hip hop platform for something more than what it was being used for. Um, and so Let's Get Free came out of that. You know what I mean? It was songs like Police State, which we can see today, uh, Propaganda, which we can see today, um, all these things, Let's Get Free, that message of self determination, and just liberation on mind, body, spirit, community, all the way around. That was the inspiration behind that, and that's the inspiration still behind the work that we're doing, even though we've um, had time to grow and process and develop and mature and test theories and adapt and have a white belt mindset, as we going. And my path has led me to holistic health and wellness as the front lines of the work that I'm doing, because I think I can make the most impact in that space. And it's led me away from kind of like ambulance chasing and confrontational politics of what I'm against and what ain't right and complaining and all of that kind of stuff. I feel like I tested that theory, and I feel like helping people heal, helping people be well, be fit, have confidence, be mentally encouraged, is I've seen more productive results, you know. So, that's what has led to me doing fit hop music and my new album, The Workout 2. So,
Scene. Yeah, yo, when I interviewed you a few years ago, I asked you have to correct me. I'm like, yo, it seems like you kind of got away from the political stance. It kind of seems you got away from that a little bit. You're like, no, what's the use of having money and economic power and all that? And you're out of shape, you're fat, and you have heart disease. You're like, yo, listen.
to put it bluntly, right? You know, like somebody said, you can enjoy $10 in health better than you can enjoy $1 million in poor health. You know what I mean? So, and that goes the same with freedom or any other political objective. Is health has to be the front line. You know what I mean? You can't even send soldiers nowhere if they're not healthy.
100.
So,
100.
yeah.
I know, because you had you had the Be Healthy on there, and that was one of my favorite tracks too. Just even on that album, there was so much. It was very eclectic. Like I remember listening to it. I actually listened to it at a library. That's like one of the first. I stole the album from my brother, and he took it back, and I listened to it in the library, and I was just sitting there, and I would hear like the Poets, and then I would hear the Black Panthers, and I would hear Be Healthy, and it was such a collage of like a whole bunch of different things. Do you want to talk about some of the collaborators that you used in that first album?
Yeah, you mentioned Last Poets. We worked with Abio Doom from the Last Poets on Mind Sex. He did the Black Rose poem. We sampled a lot of our heroes. Chairman Omali Satella from African People's Socialist Party. That's him on Police State Talking. That's him on Wolves Talking. Sampled movies and different documentaries like Spook Who Sat by the Door, and speeches from Huey P. Newton and other Black Panther Party members. We worked with our team. We were on Loud Records at the time, so Sean C., Scott Free, Matt Life was our A&R team, and they helped us, build our sound out. Lord Jamar was instrumental with us even getting the deal and co-producing and helping us have that sound that Let's Get Free is unique for. So yeah, it was a powerful document, and like my homies from Florida, Tahir, Abu, our whole team just contributed to that record. And a lot of people been, wanting Let's Get Free too, and but I'm like, that was Dent. That was that era. You know what I'm saying? And it's always there. I always send people back to it. I'm like, oh, you want more Let's Get Free? Listen to it again. But we since then, Revolutionary But Gangster was our next record, which was like the prequel to what made us make something like Let's Get Free. A lot of people don't realize RBG was like how we was living before we became revolutionaries and members of the National People's Democratic Uhuru Movement and African People's Socialist Party or whatever. RBG was the prequel, And then our third album, Information Age, was like a look towards the future, which if we look like where we in right now, songs like What If the Lights Go Out, songs like A New Beginning, we were looking at these kind of times and attempting to create a soundtrack for what the future might look like for communities trying to get empowered. So, our career and our music is relevant in our experiences, but as artists, we always trying to put words to where the community is at and where we're trying to go.
All right. I have a few more questions, so I'll just do them really quick. Yeah, a lot of your stuff was very prophetic, actually. Just wanted to let you know that. It was very prophetic to what's happening right now. Just quick, if you could just tell me a quick thing, like when you started out, how was the contracts? Like basically, like, the music industry, it hasn't been very kind to us since the Cadillac Records days. What was it going into dealing with the industry in that and getting the contracts and getting something like that tangible for yourself and for your family?
That was definitely a battleground. You know what I mean? I think the first offer we got was like 10 stacks, 10 G's.
Wow.
And I was like, man, I ain't come all the way from Florida, be homeless in New York City to split no 10 G's with my team. Like, that's ridiculous. And the thing is, Lord Jamal, he had, Brand Nubian fame. They had already been a signed act for many years and established themselves when we met them. And he was telling me that they got signed, I believe, for like $5,000 each, right? Brand Nubian.
Wow.
So when he was telling me that, I was like, that's not what I came here for. So they hit us with certain offers, and I just had to take the matter in my own hand. I had to be my own attorney. The lawyers we had was telling us this is standard, everything is standard, which basically means status quo, which basically means take it up the ass. It is what it is. So I had to get in those conversations and negotiate from a perspective of what I thought our work was worth. And then we ended up boosting our what we signed for was like $250,000. So, and at that time, when artists was even getting deals like that, which went out in 2000, but we was one of the last artists even getting a signed deal like that. And but every time that we would get an advance, I would always invest in equipment. And I would invest in, trademarks and different things that I see the labels and the different companies doing. I would say, boom, let me take some bread and do that. Let me buy the equipment so I don't got to pay the studio. Let me get this so I own that. Let me invest in T-shirts so we could do our own merchandising. So we always been trying to have the means of production and be in charge as best we could as we negotiating these deals with the industry.
How was your music, your brother, how was it received? How was it received by our community? How was it perceived by outside community at that time? Like when you were pushing it and you went on tour and it was out on the streets and the mixtapes, how was the reception that you got?
The reception was all love. The reception was like all love. We went around the world. We went Africa, Cuba, Germany, you name it, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Chile, all over America. We went everywhere. You know what I mean? And it was mad love. It was packed. Everybody knew the lyrics. Energy was high. No matter what color, black, white, whatever, different nationalities, different languages, everybody was on it. And it's been like that since we came out.
Scene. Yo, wow, man. My mind's blown, man. What would your message be for the youth right now? Rather, if they want to get healthy, rather if they want to get into the music industry, rather if they're just trying to save some money and get a business, get their mama a house, rather they're trying to survive this pseudo martial law. What would your message be to the youth right now?
My message is to the youth, to the elder, to the, and everything in between. Health is wealth. Period. Holistic health is wealth. It's like, take care of your body through fitness, through self-care practices, nourish yourself, grow food, eat clean, meditate, stay open mind, keep a white belt mindset, be of service to other people, right? Be humble, be strong, develop your skill sets. That's holistic health, and through that, you always gonna be wealthy. We don't know what tomorrow is gonna bring with the pandemic that's going on right now. We don't know if the very foundation of capitalism is over. You know what I mean? We don't know that. So, I can't tell you what capitalism is going to look like 10 minutes from now. But what I do know is, regardless of whatever capitalism or other ism schism or whatever different people bring forth, that your health is your economy. Your health is your way to navigate through whatever happens and whatever is happening, and be at your best to face it. Whether that means we gotta walk 10 miles to get water, or whether that means we just have to have compassion, not to argue and fight each other because we quarantine. You know what I'm saying? But it's about refocusing our priorities on health, self-care, and being present in the best way for our loved ones. So, that's not a youth question. That's just for anybody. That's what these times call for right now.
100.
To be unified together, to have integrity to our values and not be trying to take advantage of people right now. To have self-control over our emotions so that they don't get the best of us when we're frustrated or worried or doubting or having anxiety. And it just be like water, man, and just adapt. Water don't resist what's in front of it. It just adapts and finds balance. So, that's my 2 cents is, be like water and stay unified. And let's get it.
That's it. Yo, like Bruce Lee, be like water. Be like water. That's it, man. Yo, trust me. Yo, my 15 is up. I just want to say one last thing, no question. I want to congratulate you on Lululemon. I think you did some kind of deal with them. Familiar. It's a Canadian company, so I'm familiar with them. I'm not sure if you finalized anything, but I wanted to congratulate you on that. I think you're working with them, doing something with them. So, congrats on that.
Yeah. So, thank you. Yeah, for your audience benefit, what I'm doing with Lululemon is I'm a running ambassador, and we're doing all kind of creative projects. Started last year and we'll continue, but we're doing creative projects that bring together my passion for running with my experience in hip hop and my platform for that, and just Lululemon's agenda and message of being all in. in what you do, being authentic and being about health and wellness and doing it for yourself and other people. So look out for a few campaigns. We have one called Experience Fit Hop about this young boxer who's a 14-year-old sister that is already qualified for the Olympics, and how my music fuels her inspiration. And then we have a Be All In project coming later around men changing the manscape of manhood, right? And how men can be vulnerable and find strength in that. So we've been doing a lot of content together around that and running playlists and all kinds of stuff to look forward to. So yeah, Lululemon is one of those companies that's a huge corporation, but they have a really focused and authentic agenda as it relates to the community that they're trying to build. So I'm honored to get to work with them.
All right, yo,
Yeah.
thank you. Your time is valuable. I'll let you get back to work. You're a freaking genius. What you did on Nas's album, Untitled Farrakhan was more than brilliant. I know you didn't write the whole thing. You did a little bit of stuff, but you're brilliant. I've been listening
Thank
to you
you,
for
man.
20 years, brother. You made me lose 50 pounds, man. Like on the first album. My family loves you.
Wow.
Our
I
community
should have a
loves you.
testimony around that.
Right on.
All
Thank you,
right.
man. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for sharing your platform, man.
Okay, well, thank you, brother.